no other but myself, Minister Chase, Auntie, Mom, Miss Yvette, whatever, Miss Shantae, whatever y'all know me by, that's who I am. God called me to minister, and God gave me the title of ministry. I didn't give it to myself. God gave it to me. But I'm not big on titles, and nobody has to call me minister anything. That's who I am, because that's who God said. But I know who I am, so I don't need anybody to identify me with a label. So most of y'all here call me Mom, call me Miss Shante. Y'all call me different things. But God has called me in Gina in this ministry as a mother, and has called y'all to be my daughters. Whether you call me Mom or not, it doesn't make a difference. That's who I am when it comes to this ministry. I'm not your biological mother. I'm not trying to be your mommy. But that's who God has called me, the mother of this ministry. So God has called me as the leader and founder of this ministry, and I'm grateful to God. My daughter Tahisha God has called her as the assistant of this ministry. I think maybe a year to two, she came alongside of me as my assistant, and I'm grateful to God for her. GNOT, as I said before, GNOT began in November of 2013. The first Friday in 2013 was November the 1st. That's when GNOT was birthed. And during that time, we did it from my house. I lived in a little apartment at Lee Boulevard, 602 West Lee Boulevard, apartment B6. That's where we met. Every first Friday of the month, we met there. And it was consistent for 2 years. Women came, women gleaned. We started out with, I think it was 10 women. And 10 women were consistent in coming. And it's a little weird, and I ain't got time to go into all of that in the 10 and this and this and this. But that's where it started at with 10 women every first Friday of the month. And it was for 2 hours. When we first started out, we used to meet and eat, not meet and greet. We used to meet and eat, because we used to always have, we would break bread together at the beginning, and then we would have a meeting and whatever. But it was really a blessed time for us. And God called GNOT to be a safe place for women to come, naked and unashamed. And that's why he allowed us to have it in a home setting, in a house, because women came from all walks of life. Not one woman during that time was actively in church, I don't think, when we first started that ministry. Not actively, consistently in church. So it wasn't a church setting. It wasn't about church. It was about God and our relationship with God. And it was women 20 to 35 originally when it started out. And like I said, it was a place that women can come naked and unashamed, without judgment, free. Because God wanted to set women free. It was a place of sisterhood. It's a place of sisterhood. The young ladies there was held accountable, where they had connected with a sister and they would call her throughout the week. They would connect. It wasn't just when we at the ministry or when we were meeting, but you was held accountable to call a certain sister, to connect with her. And that was the same sister you connected with all the time and befriended. And then I end up moving from 602 Loop Boulevard, and we begin to meet at Keisha House at 317 West 23rd Street. We met there for about a year up until COVID came. When COVID came in March, I think our last, we had a series. What was the name of that series? Anyway, it was a series that we did for the month of March. And we, like I said, I had moved, so we had started meeting at Keisha House every month. And in March, once we finished our series, and COVID was there, we stopped meeting at Keisha's house and we went to virtual Zoom. And we continue, but we never missed a beat. I don't care what season it was, what circumstance it was. God always made a. Sierra was there consistently, constantly. I think up until this year here, Sierra began to stray and to fall off. And, but she was another one that was consistent through the whole time. Through the whole time, as much as possible, she attended, So the ministry never ceased, and just, to give you a little highlight, whatever, I make up the difference or whatever. But God didn't say that. God said, get sweatshirts, not t-shirts, sweatshirts. T-shirts would have been a lot cheaper. Get sweatshirts. And I didn't argue with God. I didn't cry about it because my relationship with God, I know who God is, and I know what happens when you make sacrifices. But anyway, I say that to say this. NOTT is a nonprofit ministry. And everything that we do comes from the pockets of mostly the leaders